Good morning, guys. It is Dorothy with 6 Day Ranch. I'm going to show you the easiest way that I have found to remove wallpaper. So if you don't already know, we've been working on remodeling our home, and Devin's bathroom and our bathroom has had this wallpaper in it, and I got all the wallpaper out of Devin's bathroom, and I was like, you know what? I got all the stuff out. It's okay. We'll deal with bare walls for a little bit in our shower, in our bathroom, and I'll go ahead and knock out the wallpaper in here. So I'm going to show you what I did that works the best for me, because I tried several different options. First option that I tried mostly was I scored it and then sprayed the wallpaper remover, and then you'd have to peel off the top layer, then score it and spray it again, and then even whenever you were scraping it, it was still really difficult to scrape off. So I did some research, and I bought this. This is a steamer, and it comes with two different handle attachments. So you got this one, and then you got this small one too, which is going to work really well for me whenever I get into the windowsill in our bathroom. There are just a couple things that I want to point out that I kind of wish that they did better on with designing it. First off is I wish there was an on and off switch, so that way whenever you wanted to take a break or you need to go and do something real quick, you just hit that off switch, didn't have to worry about the steam still going instead of having to unplug it. And then the only other thing, unless it comes off and I just can't figure it out, is making the lid removable, because you got to pour it into here, and there's like a little valve in here that restricts how quickly you can pour into this, because if you pour too quickly, the water pours out of this. So that's the only thing that I kind of wish that this had better. Other than that, it works great. It's super easy to use. So I've already filled it up. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes for it to heat up and really start steaming. So I'm gonna heat this up, and then while it's heating up, I'm actually gonna go do some laundry. I'm gonna put the lid back on first. And for, I think it's like a whole gallon that can fit in here, maybe a little bit more. It can last, one tank can run for about 70 minutes. And I think I found that it actually runs longer than that whenever I had done the walls that I've already done in here, which I'll actually show you real quick. I don't know if you can see, but it's like super smooth. There's nothing that has damaged the sheetrock underneath. And whenever I was doing the scoring method, it was damaging the sheetrock if you push too hard, which, after you do the removal of the wallpaper, you have to go back and mud all the areas that are damaged in the sheetrock. And on this wall and above our shower, there's nothing that was damaged here, which is gonna make it great. The only reason why these are back up here, we had taken them off whenever I removed the wallpaper, but we put them back because we're still using our bathroom for the time being, and we needed a place to hang our towels. And then right here, I have to actually cut the power to the house, or at least just in here, so that way I can get this. I'll probably either use the spray or that small attachment, so that way I don't, get electrocuted or get any water or liquids inside there. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do it on this wall, because I've got this big wall, and then everything, this is where the mirror obviously would go. So I'm gonna get all of the rest of this taken care of today, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. So I'm gonna get it plugged in, and then I'll see you guys in about 15 to 20 minutes. So one trick that I wanted to point out is, so you want to get this first layer up first, and if you can pull at it and get it up, see right here, I would definitely recommend going around and just pulling at it just to get it started. There was a lot of areas in this bathroom where it was already coming up, so in this corner, you can get to it. Just pull it in. So that's what we did first, and it helps it to come off just a little bit easier because the steam really gets into it. And if you go slow and take your time, whoops, here you go. Even just that small amount will help a tremendous amount. So it has been right at about 15 minutes, and you can hear it, it's working. And still, you know, no steam has started. I always lay this down facing away from anybody, just because once that steam starts coming through, it's going to be really, really hot. So I'm going to keep working, trying to just peel off what I can while that finishes, and then I'll be back in just a few minutes. This is the scraper that I use. It's got a little roller on it where, you know, it lays flat and you just move it around. It works great. I actually have two of them. I'm going to post a link to this as well as the steamer down below in the description. And while I'll show you this, you can see that there's definitely steam. It fills up the water quick, so start it out. And then, step up here. All you gotta do is I hold it right here, just like this. And I'm gonna hold it for probably close to 15 to 20 seconds. The longer you hold it, the easier it is to come off. And make sure you don't stand underneath it because it definitely will burn you. The steam kind of comes from all directions, so you've got to be really careful with that. Remove it. You see how it's getting really wet? That's a good thing. You want to hold it until it's fully wet. So after it's wet, you can get, look at this. Just comes right off. Same up here. Of course, you still have the backing, so you have to do it again, but it works so well. And you take the scraper and what? See how easy that is? It's like a huge lifesaver. And then I just take it and set this down. It's hard to do with one hand. I just peel it through because even though it's not fully wet, it's still getting most of it off. Like that. And then I'll go back through and I'll hold it again and do the same process, and then I'll just keep moving this way, and then I'll eventually make it to this wall and get all the way down the wall. a quick little update. We got all of that up top, except for right there. I can't do right there because the water is running down underneath it and getting too close to that for comfort. So I'm gonna get that after we cut the power in here. And then this area over here is gonna need the smaller handle, but other than that, it's slowly coming off. And if you can see, there's one little mess up right here in the sheetrock. It's probably just the angle that I was doing whenever I was scraping it, which is okay. Just a little bit of mud there. Can fix that real easily. All right, so I am gonna finish the rest of this wall and I'll give you guys an update here shortly. All right guys, so I finished this entire wall, and then it's also dark in here because I removed the light and I got all the way down behind where the mirror goes and then up there. The only thing that I didn't get is behind the toilet and in the windowsill because obvious reasons, like I said earlier, we're going to be using this bathroom while we're remodeling it, so I made sure to not get behind the toilet because we're not going to remove the toilet out of here until we get to this area. We still got a couple things left to finish in Devin's bathroom first, which is okay, you know, we'll be able to deal with it. We're actually going to, I think we're going to put the light back up, or the new light, just until we're ready to come in here and finish the rest of the stuff, just, you know, so we can have light in here. But we do have that one above the shower for now, and we'll probably just make it work with that one. And like I said earlier, I didn't get it there because the water was coming down and dripping down too close for comfort to the electricity. So I just figured I'd wait, and I'll do that up there once I cut the electricity for down here. And then this is the wall here. Like I said earlier, you know, this stuff like this is gonna happen in the drywall. Sometimes, you know, you just nick it just right with the corner of the little scraper, but a little bit of mud, you'll be just fine with that. I do want to point out, it's not perfect along the bottom right here, but that's also because the mirror goes back there. And if you heat up anywhere near caulk or like mud that's underneath the wall, like right here, see how there was already mud here? That steam is actually going to melt that, and you'll see it. That's why there's like smudges right here. You see that? That's just because this mud underneath started to melt a little bit, and then scraping it just moved it around. So that's why. But other than that, it's all easily, you know, fixable whenever we go to sand out those imperfections, or like back here, it's not going to be that big of a deal because of the mirror. But if you guys have any questions on how to use this, let me know. I'd love to help you guys. Just comment that down below. And as I said earlier, we're going to make sure to put the links to both of these down below as well. And I wanted to make a point that even though there was a couple things about this model that I didn't care for, it was still a way cheaper route for us to be able to remove this wallpaper so quickly. Devin's bathroom is probably about half of the size of this, and it took me like 2 to 3 days whenever I was doing it the old way with just scoring and that spray. So with this route, I was able to get this done in 2 days. So it cut the time down tremendously, and it's less work. My arms were killing me whenever I was working in Devin's bathroom because you really had to put pressure and force behind the scraper. But like I showed you, it just peels off like butter. It's like super easy to do. And please, if you do this route, like if you use the steamer option, make sure that you're safe and careful with it, because there's a couple times that like you got to move to a different spot. The steamer will drip water, and it can, like I'm wearing shorts, so a couple times water dripped on my legs. It's not hot, but it did, you know, it's not gonna burn me, but it, you know, it's warm, so it lands on you. And then obviously, you know, steam is coming from all around the different sides of that handle. So whenever you go to use it, just be really careful with it. Also, one other thing, this was amazing. It fit perfectly in between the shower and the wall over here. And with this, there's a lot more steam that comes out of this, but you wouldn't cover as much of an area at a time using this one versus the other one. And depending on how much glue is behind there is dependent on how long you should leave the steamer in one area. But I've noticed that if you left it for 30 seconds or more, you could just peel it off with your hands, which is great. But I still scraped because that stuff feels gross in your fingers. And I will tell you, it is a very messy job. So like for us, we're gonna be remodeling the floors in here, so it doesn't matter as much if any of the wallpaper gets stuck to the floor. I kind of just scrape it off. But if you care about your floors, I'd put some plastic down or something like that. Like I said, I didn't, just because these floors are gonna go bye-bye in a few weeks. And it made it easier instead of having to deal with that plastic. If it gets on your floors, same thing. You can use the steamer, steam over it just a little bit, and it'll come right back up. But there's a couple spots that I did it just so that way we don't have to see the ugliness while we're still using our bathroom or stepping on it and things like that, because it feels kind of weird. So if you, like I said, if you have any questions, just let me know and I'll be able to help you guys as quickly as possible whenever I see your comments. And we love you guys, and we'll see you next time.